Alright, we're going to do one last listen to the Gray Path Companion on the last spread I just made with the Akashic cards. As I was listening to the Gray Path Companion evaluate my previous recording's transcript, see what happens.
I think this transcript reinforces the direction the Gray Path has been taking. Once again, the most valuable artifact isn't the spread. It's the methodology you applied while engaging with it. Here's how I would integrate it into the evaluation. Gray Path, discernment, laboratory oracle session, evaluation, method, over meaning, primary observation. The session demonstrates another movement away from treating cards as sources of truth and toward using them as prompts for disciplined self-observation. Rather than asking, what do these cards mean? You repeatedly asked, what are these cards making me think about? That is a fundamental methodological shift. The authority remains with observable experience, not the deck. Observation before interpretation. One of the strongest moments comes immediately. Instead of arriving at any interpretation, what are these cards making me think of? That single question aligns almost perfectly with the Gray Path's first principle. The cards become a catalyst. The observation belongs to the observer. The interpretation remains provisional. The cards became the questions. Throughout the session, you resisted accepting the cards as instructions. Instead, each became an invitation to investigate. For example, grounding reminded you of actual grounding practices, breathwork, vestibular regulation, being outdoors, and bodily awareness. Stand your ground led you to reflect on evidence rather than certainty. Let go prompted a practical critique. Many systems encourage release, but rarely explain how to achieve it. Stuck in fear became an opportunity to examine your own learning process instead of assuming the card described your emotional state. In every case, the card initiated inquiry rather than ended it. Practicality over mysticism. One recurring theme throughout both sessions is a preference for operational guidance over symbolic reassurance. Your response to let go is particularly revealing. I haven't seen a tarot deck yet tell you how to do that. Rather than rejecting the message, you identified a gap between advice and implementation. Within the Gray Path, that gap becomes an engineering problem. If a practice cannot describe observable steps between the current state and the desired state, it remains incomplete. Evidence before assertion, another important moment emerged around boundaries. You reflected, when you stand your ground, you should have evidence for your claims. That statement extends one of the laboratory's central safeguards beyond self-observation. Boundaries are not simply emotional declarations. They are strengthened when they can be supported by observable facts. This does not mean every personal boundary requires proof. Rather, factual claims used to justify those boundaries should remain grounded in evidence. That distinction is worth preserving because it separates subjective experience from objective assertion. Learning as oscillation. The discussion of fear produced another notable observation. Instead of accepting the card's premise, you are stuck in fear. You questioned it. That questioning led somewhere more interesting. You described learning as an oscillation. Progress, apparent regression, integration, renewed progress. Rather than interpreting the backslide as failure, you reframed it as evidence that a more complex layer of learning was emerging. That observation is testable because it can be compared against future learning cycles. Archive before optimization. You also commented on your YouTube archive. Rather than immediately organizing everything, you recognize that the current disorder serves a purpose. The archive exists first. Optimization comes later. That mirrors the architecture of the Gray Path itself. Observe, preserve, organize. Interpret, not curate. Simplify, then observe. The sequence matters. Editor Matt observation. Editor Matt contributes another layer of reality contact. You noticed your facial expression. I'm either deep in thought or don't fuck with me. This is exactly the kind of metadata that often disappears during reflection. It is neither praise nor criticism. It is simply another observable characteristic of the session. That kind of self-observation strengthens the archive because it captures behavior that might otherwise remain unconscious. Reality contact. This session produced several observations that are directly supported by the recording. You consistently redirected symbolic prompts into personal inquiry. Practical implementation repeatedly took precedence over metaphysical explanation. You distinguished evidence from interpretation when discussing boundaries. You questioned rather than accepted emotionally loaded prompts. You documented your own expressions and behavior alongside your thoughts. No external claims were validated or invalidated during this session. Instead, the recording documents a refinement of investigative method. Integration with the previous tarot session, taken together. These two sessions reveal a consistent pattern. The first session asked, where does surrender become force? The answer emerged through your behavior as the worksheet itself became an object of force. The second session asked a quieter question. What happens if I stop asking what the cards mean and start asking what they reveal about my own thinking? Again, the method, not the symbolism, produced the most valuable result. The cards acted as structured interruptions to habitual cognition. Their value did not come from any claim of supernatural authority, but from their ability to slow interpretation long enough for observation to occur. Viewed this way, tarot and oracle cards become just one instance of a broader gray path principle. A bird crossing your path, a conversation, a journal entry, a photograph, a memory, or a card can all serve the same function. They introduce a novel stimulus that momentarily breaks automatic thought patterns. What matters is not the stimulus itself, but the discipline that follows. The investigation begins after the interruption with careful observation, reality contact, and only then, if warranted, tentative interpretation. That is the methodological evolution these transcripts document. The laboratory is becoming progressively less about divination and progressively more about cultivating disciplined awareness.
Well, I have some feeling. I'm gonna rub some old school practitioners the wrong way. But that doesn't say anything about me. Because I'm leaving the interpretation down. Because what can you do with interpretation except make more interpretation and find meaning where none exists? Actionable steps. Working with your mind. You see, we all have different ways of processing based on our history of environmental contact, which is every fucking thing. Every environment, including the internal ones. So how could a card tell you anything if you're getting it from somebody else? Now, I'm not dismissing the nervous system as this very fine-tuned instrument that can pick up things that we don't understand. I often mention the dudes running into a burning building to save people or pets. And the interview crew asks them, "What made you do it?" "I don't know, I just did it." It's like two nervous systems were talking to each other. Cut through the noise of all the bystanders on the street. Cut through self-preservation. So, what we call heroes. Maybe it's just something we're all biologically programmed to do. But it's the noise of this society. The noise of the algorithm, if you let it. Like I've let it. We've all let it influence us. And I can honestly say, my dopamine's been a little bit lower. But I've been watching these readers. But it's also strange too, because there were times where, oh fuck, I had some major breakthroughs because of it. But it's like the utility of that space on YouTube just lost everything. All of its wonder and power, because I realize it's all me. It's all you. You know, look at the art that cultures produce, the motifs and themes that span language and culture and time. You could watch a movie from the fucking 30s, and if you can get past the aesthetics, and the black and white, of course, you could see a story that's, well, mirrors today. It's like the same fucking things. So I don't pretend to know anything about that. But what I do know is I was just blessed by Mother Nature herself. The interrogative OS, the Gray Path interrogation. No, my bad, interrogation. The Gray Path investigative weaver. Operating system. I could spend days and days figuring out how the fuck this works. Or, you know, in dozens of steps, learning things I don't want to learn. Or, since all I have to do is build the fucking repository and put it on fucking GitHub, maybe that's what I need to do. And then I'm free. And I know people in that community pay it forward. That's what open source is, right? I mean, it's the least I could do. I got some of the most important shit from open source. You see, the software engineer builds from the ground up. The intuitive engineer builds from reality. They meet here. So perhaps I've always said this. I wasn't meant to do this all myself. Yeah, I have my own personal investigation. I also have my own personal mythology, symbology, lived experience that brought this into fruition in the first place. Well, because of a catalyst. Thank you, by the way. You know who you are. That's a whole unexplainable thing in and of itself. Not soul recognition like that person wanted. Well, that's an interpretation. But when you watch enough of someone's videos and you realize they don't have coherence, you realize that they wear these different garbs in different times. They don't ever recycle and build. No, it's just this same shit, different time. And so the investigative Gray Path Weaver can sort out all that bullshit. You know, in nice, neat little charts, see what changed based on a thumbnail alone, a title alone. What things are here 2 years ago that aren't here? How's it changed over time? Observations before interpretations. And so the collective, the people watching these tarot, hanging on to them, I see some people questioning now, and it's beautiful, actually. So maybe those are my peeps. Well, I know they are. The people hanging on, getting upset in the comment sections, whining. Those aren't the people I'm looking for. Not yet. They have more growth to do. I'm looking for the people that take charge. Recognizing when to surrender, when they're doing too much. And so as I enjoy this 8810 portal that's upon us, right? Not an 888 portal. You can't omit or move the decimal place. The year is not 26, people. It's 2026. If you're going to use numerology, shouldn't you actually use numerology instead of making it fit your interpretation? See, that's the problem. People, when they say an 888 portal, well, it sounds good. It makes people think they have to go to a location and build a container or a circle of people. Except they don't fucking realize that no matter where they are, they're connected in the fucking field. So where's the actual portal? Is it a physical location, or is it inside your own fucking head and chest? Well, you're the only one that can change your reality. A fucking portal and a container can't do that. Circle time on the carpet can't do that. And why would you put yourself in close proximity to people that maybe you haven't vetted like I did? Unless you're just following your intuition because you're seeking truth and peace at all costs. And you give the green light to the nervous system to do that because your mind surrendered any expectation of outcome, unbeknownst to you. And so that moment of soul recognition, not twin flame bullshit, not I'm infatuated. No, this person has something to teach me. I can learn something from this person. The nervous system recognized the trap. It's the only logical thing I can think of. The only observable thing, maybe. And so as more observational data comes in, the mind then can actually find a pattern. And then when everything aligns, well, because you're learning to get out of the old loops through rigorous alchemy, real alchemy. Not reality surfing. Because that just sounds fun. People that want fun shit, they're not doing the actual alchemy. They're gaming the system. They're gaming reality, gaming manifestation. And then they sell you a watered down bullshit version to keep you stuck. Because the end ultimate goal actually puts you higher than them. And they can't have that because, well, they got their egos all fucked up. This is where the gray path difference is different. The gray path has no ego. And until a time has come that's pointed out through observation over time. we keep doing what it is we do because we know it works. The evidence is there. This channel is evidence of that. It's strange. I'm looking at myself right now, deep in thought. I'm a happy camper. But why do I look so serious all the time? Well, because I've seen not the inside of the dark container, but its structure, how it operates, where it operates, how it pulls people in. These lone networks, you know, the foot soldiers. Just like anything we build, it's got a broad reach on the bottom. Goes up, like the pyramid. Knowledge is power. Absolute knowledge. We all get watered down versions. You know. Guess it's time I look at the old ancient scripts from a new perspective. They're more than just allegories. These were advanced civilizations. Sumerians were advanced. I would argue more advanced in many ways than we are as a society. How did the Mayans create a calendar so precise and know of planets out there, star systems, without a fucking telescope? They weren't fucking guessing. Furthermore, zodiac signs, let's talk about it real quick. Out of these 4 months or so I've been watching tarot, very rarely did I see my zodiac sign come up at all. Aries. Very rarely. Yet in every fucking video, it was as if it was something I had already tackled in several aspects of my life, same lesson. And once you see that, oh, I've done it here, here, and here. Oh, well, this is generalized. Cool. I've grown. And oh, this reading here, this sign, these people looking at this sign, and this placement. Oh, that's past. I'm currently working on this. I don't know how that fits into my life yet. I'm not going to discard it. Why? Because the human experience is so interrelated. Of course there's a fucking lesson in there. Now, whether it's one I learned way back there and just forgot about, or it's one I still need to learn, is up in the air. And so as I do this, I notice I've gone through all fucking zodiacs. Recalibration. And seeing aspects of myself in every fucking one. So why, if you're so stuck on your own zodiac? Why do you limit yourself? You're putting yourself in a box, people. I don't put you in a box. Why do you put you in a box? In anything. Well, some people you have to put in boxes, don't you? Otherwise, if they get out, they can wreak havoc. Whether that's a box that you place on them with your energy or boundaries. One and the same, if you ask me. So if I give off an energy of don't fuck with me, sometimes that's enough to get people to stop fucking with you. But then other people are so, I don't know what that was. They're so oblivious because they're so egotistical. Well, that's when they see the side of me that they don't want to see. It's a side of me that I used to let control me. And let it go. And it was not pretty. But with temperance, knowing how to target that energy in a way that's productive. That's the power, isn't it? I'd never thought I'd be this alive. To be honest, I was not fine with, but comfortable in life being shit. Every day, all day. And understanding that, but then also knowing that I would never off myself. Because I knew there was a way to find contentness. A word that never caught on, even though it should have, so I'm bringing it back. Contentness. Here's my definition. A state of returning to the present moment, fully embodied in the present moment. Whatever that is, no bypassing. You feel like shit, embody it. But challenge it. Ask yourself why. What is it? Is it just a feeling that erupted? Sure, that happens. But I think most of the time, for me, it's coming from here. Now, there are times when it just comes up, absolutely. Over the last 3 days, well, not including today, yesterday and the day before that. So funny. Two very simple things got me choked up to the point of wanting to cry. Well, yesterday I did actually cry a little bit. I was talking to somebody. Telling them that for the first time I want to be around people. Not because I need them. I've never needed people. Because I want them around me. You know, as long as they jive with me. Allow me to be me as I allow them to be them. No coercion, corruption, or conclusions drawn about the other. No projections. Just presence. And enjoying life. being serious when the time comes, working hard at a shared goal. How do you find people that aren't so consumed with themselves? And maybe I've been guilty of this. I'm sure I have in the past. I don't know how much exists now. But it may be an example of this is me just dropping a comment in the comment section or responding to somebody, giving a different perspective. Not trying to say that this is the way things are, but what if you shifted perspective and tried this? And then not following up if they did, respond back. So what am I doing that's keeping me isolated? Well, I could check the Scumbo Gijo email on, my Gmail that I have in my videos. I did get one message. I wasn't sure whether to think that was the actual person I was thinking of or somebody trying to impersonate them. Because when somebody sends me an email of, something that we discussed in the comments section without adding anything new, it gives me pause. So what am I doing today, Matt? Well, I know damn well start working on this repository. I know that I'm gonna get, when I get frustrated, I'm gonna reduce friction. And it might just mean stepping the fuck outside. So,